The Andy Pollin Show on ESPN 630, the sports capital.
This is Orioles preview. We are due to talk to Kevin Brown, the TV voice of the team. We just found out he got a flat tire on his way to work, so he's Ubering in for the game, and we hope to get him in about 15 minutes. Meantime, talk about the team, which is doing very well. They're 11-6. They won again last night, beat the Twins 11-3. They've had these like double-digit wins and double-digit losses, but overall have played very well this year. They're just a half game behind the Yankees, who started off the year on a tear. It's not exactly like last year when Tampa Bay really got off to a great start, and it looked like the Orioles were going to be playing for a wild card. And they eventually overtook the Rays and won the division with 101 wins. I don't know if they'll get 100 wins this year, but they are an improving team, a veteran team, and they're getting contributions not just from the great young players that they had last year. Cedric Mullins, a veteran guy, has made some great contributions. The other day, he had a great catch in the outfield and also hit a home run. Adley Rutschman is an established star now. He's hitting .292, and they're getting contributions from the younger players. Whether Jackson Holiday goes on to hit, .270 this year remains to be seen. He got off to a rough start, as most rookies do. It was explained by Mike Elias, general manager. He says, "Look, there's a dearth of pitching right now in the major leagues because of injuries. So anybody who can pitch is playing in the majors, and what you have is second-tier pitching in the minors. So while you had him tearing things up, Holiday hitting like .333, a couple of home runs in the minors, AAA." The level of pitching wasn't anywhere near what he's facing in the majors, plus, the adjustment of moving up. So he'll eventually get going. But Gunnar Henderson, who was the American League Rookie of the Year last year, he's hitting .275. He's got some home runs. He's number 2 on the team in runs batted in. And Colton Cowser, who had a terrible run last year when they brought him up. Cowser last season hit .115 in what do you have? 61 at bats, 22 strikeouts in 26 games. He's come up this year. It's American League American League Player of the Week last week. He's hitting over 400, 405. He has 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in to lead the team. So they're getting some really nice contributions from guys that they didn't necessarily get them from last year, and that's what's put them where they are. As for last night's game, they win 11-3. Brandon Hyde, the manager of the team.
For me, that was probably one of our most complete games of the year so far, just what we did in every single area. The way we swung the bat, hit with runners in scoring position, the way we hit with power, the way we ran the bases. Grayson was really good. We played really good defense. So there was a lot of really positives tonight. A lot of guys swung the bat extremely well and played really good baseball tonight. Yeah,
the performance that Grayson Rodriguez had, not just last night, but what he's done through the season. Remember, this is a guy who they hoped last year would break spring training with them and be maybe their number 3 starter. He had to start the year in the minor leagues. He got his season on track towards the end, but he's now 3-0. And his ERA drops to 2.62 as he gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in the win last night. And this was, again, Hyde on the performance that he saw from Rodriguez.
Yeah, and I didn't really think he had his fastball command very well. I mean, for me, he was missing a lot up, and he still got areas to improve. And you see the talent, and you see the stuff. And he's going to have a chance to be dominating at times. And he was really good tonight. Just the fastball command. It was really good without the fastball command that he has had the first few starts.
So he's not even at his best, and he gives them a performance like that. So that's very encouraging. The issue that they have with pitching right now is Tyler Wells is going to be on the injured list for 10 days, and he's got, you hear these things all the time in baseball. Oh yeah, he's got elbow tightness. You pray that it doesn't lead to Tommy John. And there doesn't seem to be any reason for that now, but there is some nervousness about that, and there is some concern as they move on. He was supposed to pitch today, and he's not off to a great start. He's 0-2 with a 5.87 ERA. And 3 starts he's had, the team is 0-3. But, they hope with a little bit of rest he's going to come back and give him some of the things he had from last year. As for Rodriguez, not having his best stuff and still getting his 3rd win of the year last night, his thoughts on that?
Fastball command wasn't really there. I thought that could have been a lot better. But being able to pitch with the off-speed was a big step forward. Being able to land stuff for strikes, also put guys away with sliders in the dirt. But, yeah, just wish the fastball was a little bit better tonight.
How impressed are you on a nightly basis with this offense?
Yeah, the offense is special. It's going to be special. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Anytime we can put up, I think it was 11 runs. How many? 11? It's a lot of fun, especially to watch from the dugout.
You guys have managed, you got an 11-6 record, which is really good, without having Bradish, without having Means, and now possibly not having Wells for a while. How impressive is that to have such a good record without those starters?
Yeah, I think it's very impressive. Obviously, those are 2 big arms. So whenever they get back, we're going to be a lot better. But, in the meantime, we're going to pick them up, and just keep going out there and throwing the ball. Whoever gets it that day is going to go out and compete and hopefully put this team in a good spot to win.
When you guys were in the minors, you and Westberg and Gunnar and all of these other guys, Adley, and you dreamed of days like this. Now that they're here and you win a game like this, the offense goes crazy, you pitch well. How nice is this feeling?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's really all I can say about it. It's pretty cool to see, what Gunnar and Adley can do, especially Westberg. Like a lot of these guys that we just came up with the minor leagues. It's pretty special.
Yeah, this paragraph from the game story in the Baltimore Sun today, a lineup with 6 homegrown players, 4 first-round picks, and 3 number-1 prospects produced 11 runs on 15 hits, and all 9 batters reached base. Gunnar Henderson went 3 for 5, hit a home run into the Orioles Park's flag court, and singled home Jackson Holliday. Jordan Westberg blasted a 2-run homer and over the nearly indomitable left field wall. Colton Cowser had 2 hits and drove in a pair of runs, and Grayson Rodriguez pitched 6 innings of 2-run ball for the win. I mean, this doesn't happen usually in this day and age, but the way they've been able to draft and the way they've been able to develop these players and bring them along at the right time, and even if it's not the right time, like Cowser, who struggled last year, when he was ready to go this year, he's ready, and he's hitting over 400. Plus, you have really good bench guys who understand their roles. And Ryan O'Hearn, who played last night, he's been in and out. He's been all over the place. He's good with that. He understands that he has this certain role with the team.
Yeah, my job is just to be ready for whatever, basically. I mean, I think Mounty's got a chance to win a Gold Glove, so I'm his biggest fan over there at first base defensively. And, when he needs a day, I'm happy to go play first base. If Tony needs a day, I'm happy to go play right field and, whatever they need from me.
Ryan, you didn't get a lot of at-bats early. The Orioles faced so many left-handers. How difficult was that, just sitting and waiting? You knew the right-handed pitching was eventually going to come, and it has, and you've performed very well.
Yeah, it's just part of this role that I've got going. Even though there's a lefty starting, I got to be ready to hit, a back-end right-handed arm at the end of the game and potentially win a game. So even though it's technically an off day, it's really not an off day for me.
Yeah, he's played in started 11 games, played in 14 of them. Again, hitting .333, and last night 2 for 5 in the win over the Twins. So we'll find out shortly who is going to be the pitcher today when they take the field against the Twins and go for the sweep. After this, schedule does not get easy. They go on the road against the Royals, who are also 11-6 on the season, and then they go west. It's odd that they go west and then they get a west team here, but they play 3 in Kansas City. And then they will go on Monday to play the Angels. They'll be with the Angels for 3 games. And then they come home a week from Friday to take on the A's, who are playing a little better than most people thought they would. They're a mess. They don't even have a place to play. But Oakland on the year is what? What's their record? They're a little bit better than was expected. They won last night. I think they're 8-10 on the year. So you never know. But you got to be happy with what the Orioles have been able to do this year. And the question is health. And when you get injuries like Tyler Wells, you do get concerned about that. But they have managed to persevere. We will hopefully hook up with Kevin Brown if the flat tire is okay. If not, a couple of other odds and ends to finish up the show. This is Orioles Preview. It's the Andy Pollin Show, ESPN 630.
The Andy Pollin Show on ESPN 630, the Sports Capital.
This is Orioles preview. Orioles wrapping up their series with the Twins today. Coverage here on ESPN 630 starts at 12:30 for the 1 o'clock start. Let's hope this is not a metaphor for the season. The Orioles have been rolling lately, rolling to within a half game of the Yankees, winning last night 11-3. And Kevin Brown.
Mel on the air.
Now you're on the air. And the fine television voice I was about to say was rolling along to work today when he got a flat tire. What are your thoughts on the timing of this with the team now rolling the way it is?
What are my thoughts on the flat tire? They're not great.
Yeah, imagine. I
got a screw in my front left tire. I got a couple of screws loose up top, and I got a screw that's stuck in the tire down below.
Oh, God. And now you're about to head out on the road after today, right? Getaway. So you leave this car. Do you have somebody else that can take care of the problem for you while you're gone?
You know what? We'll find out. It's all happening very quickly, so that'll be my next call.
Okay, yeah, and you're keeping your cool, which I don't know if I would do in the same situation. Let's talk about what's happening lately. There are some really great signs here, including Colton Cowser, who struggled last year when he came up. He's hitting over 400, American League Player of the Week. The Stars have picked up where they left off last year. Henderson and Adley Rutschman. Does it look like, this team is now hitting its stride after, I don't want to say a shaky start because people overreact to everything in April, but right now they are in such a good spot the way they're playing?
I think so. I mean, up and down the lineup, it's been really impressive to see. There's such balance 1 through 9. And, I think there are superstar players in this lineup. I think there is superstar potential, particularly with Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman. But more than that, it's just balance. Jackson Holiday's struggling right now. We all know that. But he'll get it together. And when he does, there's really not an easy out in this lineup. There's not an easy at-bat. Even Jackson, who's struggling now, makes it work. So I think what this team has in spades is balance and depth. I mean, every day you look at the bench, there are capable players, league average hitters, all-stars on the bench. And if the Orioles could bat 11, they would. But I just think the depth and the balance of this lineup, maybe some lineups are more top-heavy. The Dodgers have 3 MVPs in their 1, 2, 3, but I'm not sure anybody has as good a balance 1 through 9 as the Orioles do right now.
Yeah, and if Holiday does get rolling, I was interested in the explanation that last week was that there's such a dearth of pitching right now. The best pitchers are in the majors. So while he was hitting .333 in the couple of weeks he was playing in AAA, he really wasn't facing the kind of pitching he's facing now. And the adjustment is understandable. I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him, but what's your sense of how he's adjusting, having been up, a week now?
I think he's the most mature 20-year-old I've ever met. Had really good conversations with him. I mean, he's incredibly well-trained, well-disciplined. His dad obviously was a wonderful major league player, and Jackson is mature way beyond his years. So I think every level he's at, he's adjusted pretty quickly, maybe some early struggles, but he will be fine. And I go back to some of the names you mentioned, Andy. Adley Rutschman didn't hit a home run for weeks, didn't have an RBI for a couple of weeks, really struggled out of the gate. Gunnar Henderson had a good first month in 2022, and then the first 2 months of last year was barely above 200. Colton Cowser was 7 for 61 last year. And those 3 all look like all-stars. So I don't know when it will turn for Jackson Holliday, but the Orioles believe in his talent. The Orioles have incredible coaching and development. He has had incredible coaching and development throughout his life. So I'm not worried. I think the swing might be a little bit long right now, but again, he's 20 years old. They wouldn't have brought him up if they didn't think he could handle this. But I didn't think he couldn't handle this. And he can handle it. I mean, the good thing about Jackson right now, Andy, is that yes, he's struggling, but look at what the team is doing. He doesn't need to carry the team. He doesn't need to carry the weight of expectations. He's not hitting third. He's not hitting first. He's hitting 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
Everybody else around him is hitting. So I think that might ease the burden a little bit.
All right, pitching. Tyler Wells was supposed to go today. Last night, Brandon Hyde, played down the injury. What do we know about it? And do they think that this could be a 10-day recovery, or could it be a few months?
Well, I haven't talked to Brandon today. Simply based on what he said yesterday, it sounds like the hope is that this is a short-term injury and this is simply precautionary. And Tyler's first 3 starts have not been great. He'll tell you that. Hasn't been able to go terribly deep into games the last couple of starts. So the hope is that this is just a short-term thing. Mm-hmm. And Kyle Bradish and John Means hopefully are on the way back. There's a lot of hopefully around the rotation right now. So today we get a look at Albert Suarez, who hasn't pitched to the big leagues in 7 years, but had some eye-popping velocity and movement in spring training. And I'm pretty intrigued by this guy. He'll get hit hard, but he had a 17-1 strikeout to walk ratio in AAA and some nasty outings in spring training. So I think the likelihood is he'll get a couple of starts, because it sounds like Tyler will be out for maybe, if all goes well, about 3 starts, and then get right and get back in the rotation.
Okay, so Suarez, and it's not the natural, but when you disappear for 7 years, there's something there. Was it injury that kept him out, or what was the reason he was out of the majors so long?
Just didn't have a great run in 2016 and 17 in the majors with the Giants. He went to Japan and South Korea for 5 years, 2019 to 2023, kind of reinvented himself there. Mm-hmm. Seems like he has a lot of run on the four-seamer from what we saw in spring, some movement. He joined the Orioles. Kind of interesting move. He joined the Orioles mid-September last year. He actually joined them before the season was out. Went down to Sarasota, started to work with the pitching coordinators there and get some different movement on his pitches. And the Orioles saw something they liked, and we've got glimpses of him in spring. Now we get to see it in the big leagues. But it's a cool story.
Yeah.
In 7 years, not quite in the wilderness. Baseball in Japan and Korea has played at a very high level, but to be out of the big leagues for 7 years and be overseas for 5 years, I'm sure he didn't know if the chance would ever come again. And now it comes for one of the best teams in baseball. I think that's something really to celebrate. And we'll be celebrating even more if he can give the Orioles a good lift today.
And we'll see at 1 o'clock. A couple things for you before I let you go. Cal Ripken has been a presence over the years, as you know, at Camden Yards, but now he's a part owner. What's changed since then?
I think he's just going to be even more of a presence. I'm not sure he quite knows exactly what his specific role is yet. Mm-hmm. This is all so new, but he's been around. He's been at almost every home game. I think there's nobody better served to connect the community and to connect the former players and the past eras of Orioles baseball with the current era of Orioles baseball than somebody who is as Baltimore through and through as it gets. So, there was a fun video our social media team sent out yesterday with Cal working at a desk at shortstop. Yeah. I don't know. It is, on a day-to-day basis, I'm not sure what he'll do, but he'll be a trusted ear for David Rubenstein. He obviously knows the franchise as well as anybody, having been associated with it and having his family having been associated with it pretty much his whole life. So, I don't think it's going to be a baseball operations or a front office role or anything like that, but just somebody who knows the city, knows the team, knows the fans, and is able to make that connection with the community. Whatever he wants to do, it's incredibly valuable to have Cal around more and as involved as he wants to be.
Yeah, just from a feel-good perspective, it's that. I just wonder, would he have any involvement with Mike Elias in either selecting players or developing players, or is that to be determined?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like. He said, when the Orioles opened the season and Cal and David Rubenstein spoke, Cal said, I'm here to support Mike in any way possible, but he and David are both adamant about their belief in Mike and his vision and what he's done for this team, and basically not wanting to meddle. Let Mike and his front office do what they need to do, support them with the resources they need to be supported. But, I don't think you're going to see Cal come in here and start making personnel decisions, just support in whatever way they can.
Yeah, I mean, he had talked over the years about wanting to manage that kind of past, and then there was some talk about running a front office. But I guess it was an unusual purchase situation, in that you're buying a team where the front office is in really great shape with the job that Elias has done. So as you say,
no doubt,
ain't broke, don't mess with it. Right? Yeah,
and he'll tell you his desires maybe have changed over the year as well. He's now gotten into business. He's been involved with the Aberdeen Ironbirds and the stadium. Obviously, a long-time association with Ripken Baseball and with the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation. Have done a lot of great work in the community at local schools. So his business background has really grown over the last 10, 15 years or so, and I think he can be a trusted voice there.
Very good. Good luck with the tire. Hope that gets resolved before you get back from the West Coast, and I hope you come back with some wins, too.
If it doesn't get resolved before then, we're in some real deep problems here. But
Exactly. Well, it's a tough morning already, but thanks for making some time for us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem.
All right, take care. That's Kevin Brown, who does a really good job on the television broadcasts of the Orioles games, and was nice enough to join us on a day where I would be really angry and really verklempt, because again, they're not coming back. Let's see, look at the schedule. They're not going to be back in town until Friday, April 28th. So they're out for a while. They leave. This is what they call the getaway day. After today's game against the Twins, they head to Kansas City. It's a day off tomorrow, so maybe he can make arrangements for the tire then. But they've got 3 against the Royals, and then they go to Anaheim to play the Angels, and then they come home to play the Athletics on Friday, the 28th. So there's some time away from Baltimore, and hopefully he's got somebody to help him out with that. Meantime, Orioles continue to roll 11-6, wrapping up the series today. 12:30 start here on ESPN 630. Thanks to Kevin for coming on. Thanks to Rex Minturn for running the show. All of you who listen, Tony is coming up next, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.